Madame, mademoiselle, monsieur, bonjour et bienvenue au World Power to X Summit, au World PTX Summit pour les initiés. L'occasion précieuse d'explorer un secteur d'avenir qui est celui de l'hydrogène vert. D'après une étude du World Energy Council, le marché mondial de l'hydrogène vert et ses dérivés pourraient représenter près de 20 000 TWh en 2050. Et cela est déjà estimé à quelques 600 TWh en 2030. C'est dire le potentiel de croissance qui existe en la matière. Et vu du Maroc, les opportunités sont considérables au regard de la politique nationale initiée par Sa Majesté le roi Mohamed VI dans le domaine des énergies renouvelables. À lui seul, le royaume pourrait capter quelques 4% de la demande mondiale d'ici les 10 prochaines années. D'où l'organisation d'un événement comme celui-ci qui se déploiera pendant 3 jours, initié conjointement par l'Institut marocain de recherche sur l'énergie solaire et les énergies nouvelles et l'Université Mohamed VI Polytechnique. Il ouvre la voie à la création d'une plateforme régionale dédiée à l'hydrogène vert et ses applications dans l'économie. Alors, tout au long de cette journée, ces prochains jours, de nombreuses personnalités vont se succéder ici sur scène afin d'évoquer les partenariats possibles, les investissements à mettre en œuvre, les secteurs porteurs ainsi que les futures applications industrielles. Mais avant cela, je vous invite à accueillir, comme il se doit, sur cette scène, l'un des organisateurs de ce prestigieux World Power to X Summit. J'ai nommé Dr Samir Rachidi, directeur général de l'Institut de recherche en énergie solaire et énergie nouvelle. Sous vos applaudissements, mesdames, messieurs.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear Wadia, for the nice introduction. Excellencies, dear friends and partners, ladies and gentlemen. Together with our organizing partners, the University of Mohammed VI Polytechnique and the Green Hydrogen Cluster, I am extremely honored to welcome you today to the second edition of the World PTX Summit in this beautiful city of Marrakesh. Marrakesh is an imperial city that was once the heartbeat of many Moroccan dynasties of the Moroccan Empire and the crossroad of trade routes and cultural exchanges among different regional civilizations. Today, thanks to this summit, Marrakesh is again at a crossroad, but this time the crossroad of the hydrogen industry, positioning the Kingdom of Morocco on the international map of the hydrogen economy. Indeed, the Kingdom has an outstanding positive context for the Power-to-X industry. As you all know, Morocco is blessed with an exceptional renewable energy potential, both for solar and wind, enabling it to host one of the lowest electric kilowatt-hour in the world. Also, the country possesses plus 3,600 kilometers of coastline, offering a flexible source for desalination to produce hydrogen and also drinking water for local communities. The country has also proven track record in terms of large-scale deployment of renewables in hydro, wind, and solar energy, as well as a world-class energy and maritime infrastructure powered by a unique strategic geographic situation and a substantial structuring captive domestic fertilizer market. All these elements and much more have been pointed out and emphasized in many studies, and reports from prestigious institutions and research centers such as IRENA, the World Energy Council, Fraunhofer Society, Hydrogen Import Coalition, etc., giving the Kingdom a role of a frontrunner as a hub for competitive production and exports of high added value and clean molecules. However, Morocco didn't fall back on those low-hanging fruits kind of advantages. On the contrary, 5 years ago, Moroccan actors, as early as 2017, as scouters, collected weak yet interesting signals about promising huge opportunity. They carried out preliminary and in-depth studies that confirmed what international experts were thinking about Morocco. These efforts have resulted in substantial assets and achievements that are paving the way to concrete large-scale hydrogen projects. In this regard, Morocco is now the first African and the only Arab and Muslim country to have published its own hydrogen strategy by August last year. The country has also its own hydrogen ecosystem with a National Hydrogen Committee established in 2019 to steer and coordinate hydrogen endeavors nationally, as well as a green hydrogen cluster acting as a promoting and networking tool for industry, innovation, applied research and academia to catalyze international collaboration and to enhance ideation and business creation. Last but not least, Morocco has established an applied R&D infrastructure through a strong synergy among the OCP group, the University Mohammed VI Polytechnique, and IRESEN, consisting in an open sky lab called Green Hydrogen and Application Platform, Green H2A. This facility will be a real technological backyard for national and international partners to test, qualify, adapt, improve, and scale hydrogen innovative technologies. Green H2A will host two first megawatt scale demonstration projects, one consisting of 2 megawatts PEM, 2 megawatts alkaline, and 4 tons per day of ammonia, with a commissioning foreseen in Q 2023. A second project of 1 megawatt electrolysis capacity is intended to produce synthetic kerosene. Dear colleagues, we all need to bear in mind, in a post-COVID era and a difficult international context, that the power-to-X technologies and industry, including solar power, wind power, hydrogen production, storing and logistics, green chemistry, and many other applications, bring a massive opportunity for an industrial localization of sustainable economic value and jobs for all of us, especially in the EU-African region. Indeed, the committed carbon neutrality targets translate into hundreds, if not thousands, of gigawatt electrolysis capacity, which will need thousands of gigawatt wind and solar power plants, let alone the REPower EU ambitious plans for renewables, as well as the African market potential with plus 500 million people still without electricity. Back to our summit. Today, we are overwhelmed by your willingness to join in person for our gathering. We planned initially for 350 attendees, where yesterday we exceeded 520 people from more than 30 countries. Among them, there are 90 speakers and moderators, from which 70% are international and spread on 9 sessions. In Morocco, we have a saying, we'll come to visit you only those who love you. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for this. Thank you very much for this love and friendship, which are values that are needed to build trust and partnerships and trigger projects and business opportunities. My warmest thanks go to our organizing partners, UM6P, Green Hydrogen Cluster, our ministries, our supporting partners, our sponsor, and all those who helped make a success out of this second edition of the World PTX Summit. I would like also to thank my colleagues at IRESEN, my hydrogen dream team, as I call them, Salma, Ayoub, Muhsin, Osama, Nuhaila, Umayma, Ilham, Jihan, Nada, Wasima, Asma, Sukaina, Rashid, Sufyan, Siham, Leila, Nordin, Ayoub, Mehdi, and Sarah. I shouldn't have forget no one. Thank you very much. But most and foremost, I would like to thank the co-founder of IRESEN and the initiator of this event, Mr. Badi Iken, for his continuous support and generosity. I wish you all a fruitful and impactful summit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Merci, Dr. Samir Rachidi. Et on comprend effectivement à travers votre intervention à quel point les potentialités sont énormes, à quel point aussi le Maroc a un rôle très important à jouer. Le Maroc qui est toujours tendu vers le futur qui commence aujourd'hui en matière d'hydrogène vert. Et vous l'avez évoqué, c'est Rachidi, cet événement, vous le portez avec l'Université Mohammed VI Polytechnique et j'appelle à ce titre son président, Monsieur Hicham HABTI, mesdames, messieurs.
Bahir, Assalamu alaikum, bonjour, good morning. So I don't have a list of all the people like Rashid. I like to say Rachidi, so yeah, it will be short term. So, Excellencies, ladies, gentlemen, esteemed guests, on behalf of Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, it is my distinct honor to launch with you the 2022 World Power to X Summit. After much anticipation due to COVID-19 pandemic, I'm particularly pleased that this historic juncture of public servants, business, civil society, and scientists is finally taking place in Morocco to tackle one of the world's most pressing challenges. We are all here gathered almost 9 months after the COP26 concluded in Glasgow, with its shares of the disagreements, negotiations, pledges, and controversies. COP26 generated the usual debate around the feasibility of global sustainability initiatives. Yet one diagnosis remains clear. The climate crisis is real. It's not to be underestimated. In our everyday lives, it is tangibly experienced in rising temperatures, natural disasters, lost livelihoods, and depleted systems. As such, it needs to be tackled with the utmost urgency by all relevant stakeholders. At stake here is not just the current state of our planet, but what kind of world we all intend to leave for our children. One core catalyst of climate change is the role that the conventional fossil fuels plays in greenhouse gas emissions. In order to meet the internationally stated role of limiting global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees, drastic measures are required in that regard. The international community has made great steps in diversifying from fossil fuels by adopting new renewable energy sources. In 2021, the International Energy Agency estimated that solar, wind, hydrogen, and other renewables all account for a record-breaking 30% of global energy production. This is where the use of hydrogen within a power-to-X framework can prove to be truly revolutionary. Used as fuel, hydrogen only emits water vapor, hence limiting the harm of greenhouse emissions. Capitalizing on additional renewables capacity to create hydrogen, therefore, constitutes a virtuous cycle in the human case for greener, more sustainable growth. In Morocco, as it was mentioned, we know all too well the sacrifices required for an impactful energy transition. Under the visionary leadership of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, our nation has since the mid-2000s established its standing as an African and global leader in generating clean energy. Armed with such momentum, our public, private, and research sector are already seizing the power to hydrogen opportunity. Last year, the Green Hydrogen Cluster was officially launched with the ambition of making Morocco a global leader in the industrialization and development of green hydrogen. At Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, we are particularly proud to partner with the Institute for Research in Solar Energy and New Energies, RSN, as a key research and innovation pillars of the cluster. Last year, UM6P, RSN, and OCP proceeded to the signing of a cooperation agreement to set up a green hydrogen applications, green H2A, technological platform dedicated to R&D and innovation in the green hydrogen and its applications. This infrastructure, the first in Africa, aims to play a major role in the industrial deployment of the green hydrogen sector and its applications in Morocco. It will make it possible to investigate, test, demonstrate, and adapt to the local context and scale up the innovative technologies of this promising sector of the future. My sincere wish to the 2022 Power to X Summit is to become a platform for concerted dialogue and consensus between all stakeholders interested in making power to hydrogen a reality. I warmly welcome you all to this World Power to X Summit, and I want to thank all my colleagues that contribute in the organization of this event. And I want to join Dr. Samir Rachidi in thanking Badr Iken, who is the guy behind this event. So Badr, thank you. Thank you for your commitment. I wish you a successful event and thank you for your attention.
Merci beaucoup, Hicham Labté, président de l'université Mohamed VI Polytechnique, et l'importance effectivement du secteur universitaire en matière de recherche et de développement pour envisager les différentes applications auxquelles pourrait dans l'avenir favoriser et contribuer l'hydrogène vert. Et à ce titre, je vais appeler à mes côtés sur scène le président du Green H2 Cluster, Monsieur Mohamed Yahya ZNIBER. Sous vos applaudissements.
Excellencies, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, it is for me an absolute pleasure to participate in this conference, which after being postponed for a few months for safety measures, is finally taking place. Hopefully, it will allow us all these next 3 days to approach and deep dive in this new economy, which will certainly be promising for a majority of our countries. It is also a grand premiere for our young cluster, which aims to promote green hydrogen and as a real vector of development, thanks to a unique structure bringing together public institutions, industrial companies, and university. As you know, for more than 10 years now, Morocco has been deeply committed to sustainable development thanks to a strong will and under the enlightened leadership of His Majesty the King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, at a time when very few countries had embarked on this journey, even though Morocco is not a significant emitter of greenhouse gases. But we are still far from the objective we want to achieve. And this is perhaps an opportunity, at least for Morocco, to rethink, or rather to reshape its approach throughout the value chain, and more specifically, industrial impact that can bring significant economic and social added value to our country. I acknowledge that this aspect has not really been taken into account so far, although it would have been a long-term provider of jobs and technological know-how. Mastering technology and integrating the local industry, that is the heart of the topics. We must think of our project with the real commitment of the leaders, whether public or private, national or international partners, so that all parties can enjoy the benefits. Because you see, there was 2 events that we must not consider as unfortunate accidents. The health crisis due to COVID-19 and the war in Ukraine, and all the resulting shortage in products and supply chain impact. This must be a real signal to rethink international partnership and cooperation and avoid mistakes that have been made in the past. Sharing must govern our action, not only offshoring. Regarding hydrogen production, we will always have those who will do it here in Morocco and those who will choose to do it elsewhere. Same for ammonia and methanol. The problem is whether we want to reproduce the pattern of the past, which consisted in exploiting fossil and mining resources, exporting them and receiving the financial funds coming directly from this operation, or we can choose to share the added value by involving the source countries in the gains. I'm not talking about exclusively about financial benefits, but technological and industrial benefits as well, thus creating a real virtuous circle, allowing the different countries to offer sustainable jobs to their population. Nothing prevents us from reproducing around hydrogen what has been done with the internet. This is what the American economist Jeremy Rifkin dreams of for energy, to create a global web around hydrogen, but avoiding the unbridled competition that is very specific to the web as we know it today. This is the state of mind that I wanted to share with you today. And I wanted to thank all people from public institutions for being with us, public and private institutions to be with us today, because we need this type of strong signal that must come from the public organization. We hope for even more support and especially more visibility that will allow our country to diversify its economy and avoid considering hydrogen as a 22nd century economy. No, it's definitely today, and many countries have already understood it. I would also to thank all the ambassadors and their representatives, as well as the international institutions that have been kindly present and participated with us in our work, because that is what cooperation, partnership, and sharing are all about. Morocco has been doing this and sharing with its African brothers and friends through training for several decades, but even more so today with the University Mohammed VI Polytechnique from the group OCP, and also with the group, the OCP group itself, which invests in different countries of the continent in order to allow our African friends and brothers to acquire technical and scientific know-how through the local production of fertilizer. Once again, thank you for attention and patience.
Merci, c'est Mohamed Yahya, ZNIBER, président du Green H2 Cluster, et à travers votre intervention, on aura également saisi tout l'enjeu qui existe en termes de partenariat entre le public et le privé pour à la fois faire face à ce défi de la lutte contre les changements climatiques et le réchauffement de la planète, mais également à l'enjeu qui consiste à trouver de véritables applications dans l'économie pour en tirer des bénéfices et faire également des économies et limiter les gaz à effet, les émissions de gaz à effet de serre. Alors,